Hey, thanks for watching this video. We're going to explain to you on how we make our rock sliders and some of the steps and procedures and things that we do that we think take them to the next level in what we do for production. So come on back, let's take a look here. First off, our tubing comes in and it has this scaling coating on it. This scaling coating that's on the tubing is basically to protect it from the environment, so when it sits outside in the yards, at the metal mills, it doesn't rust. So it's got a lot of oil base in it, so it doesn't rust. First off, you can't weld to this very well, and they clean off the surfaces to weld to this. What we do is we take our tubing, every piece of it, and we take it and we run it through a polisher. So we take the tubing from here, we take the tubing then over to this machine over here. We run the tubing through this machine here, and we take all the scaling off of it. So when we're starting with the tubing, before we even run it through the laser, we have a good clean piece of tubing. So we take the tubing here, after we polish it, we run it in the machine over here, and the tube laser. So we laser every piece of tubing that we use, even the plates that we use to make on our rock sliders. We actually laser those over here on the bed, lasers on this side. So I just want to show you, so here's a couple pieces of scrap metal, but they have coping already cut in them. So the coping here on this tubing is designed so when the two pieces of tubing meet up to each other, it has the same amount of gap all the way around the tubing here. So the amount of force that is pushing into this tubing and the other tube that it butts up against has the same amount of force all the way around the tubing. So when we weld in it, we're filling the weld, we're melting these two pieces of tubing together all the way around. And so what we're trying to do when we're doing so is we're trying to use the same amount of weld all the way around. We're having the same amount of gap all the way around, so when we fill this thing, so it adds more strength to this. So the other thing is like I said, we clean all the facing off the whole tube. A lot of companies, what they do is they just clean up the area they're gonna weld in. The problem is that when I take this tube and I butt it up to this tube here, and I go to weld this tube around here, I'm gonna get the oils that are in the tubing to start pull from the heat is going to pull into the weld. So that weld is gonna get somewhat contaminated. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to make the best welding surface between the two surfaces when it's welded together, which then in return is going to make it the strongest possible weld that we can make. So our rock sliders, everybody says, well, gosh, you're 8 weeks out on lead times. Well, what people don't understand, we are the only company that TIG welds our rock sliders, or that offers a production TIG welded rock slider. So what happens is all these get tacked together. Then what happens is it's called a root pass, and we go through and we weld it once, and then what we do is we go back and re-weld it again with a cap pass. And that's, as you can see here, the final weld on this is super nice, it's super consistent, it's been welded twice, so theoretically it's twice as strong, and everything is nicely polished, every piece of tubing and stuff. So this is a raw set that it's either gonna get sent out for powder coat, or these are a set that may be clear coated for a customer. So, but like I said, the coping where all the tube meets, it has the same amount of gap and the same amount of pressure all the way around the tube, so it makes it stronger. Every one of our sliders has a kick-out tube in the back. This happens to be a set for a Tacoma right here. This is a standard double-cap Tacoma set of sliders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you over and I'm going to show you some sliders that have been root passed and some of them that have been tack welded together, so you can see the process of what we do to our sliders. But these rock sliders right here take us almost 7 hours to make a complete set, where these rock sliders over here on the other side, these are MIG welded, and we're getting ready to release our MIG welded sliders here in the next couple of weeks. We're just trying to build some inventory so the wait times can be brought down considerably. So a set of sliders like this, when they're welded like this, take about 2 hours to weld. This is what traditionally what most companies do as far as welding goes, is a MIG weld, because it's a a lot less time to weld a rock slider this way than it is to weld a rock slider this way. So when you say cost effective and stuff, it's definitely more efficient and more cost effective making this way. But what we are doing here is we're trying to show off the quality of work that we can offer here at our shop. So do offer, these are TIG welded, these are big welded. You can see the differences in the weld, but they still are super high quality welds. We have some very skilled workers that work here within the company, and we're very appreciative for what they do and their skill set that they have to offer. So let's take a look. I'm going to show you over here at where they ramp up to take into the next step. So you can see the gap here through the side. We tack weld them in the front and the back. We tack weld them in spots that are not where you're just going to have visible on the eyes. So when we do is we come back in and we weld here and weld around, so it has a really nice weld for where you're looking at it. We try to hide the seams on where they start and where they stop. So this one's been tacked together. This is the 4Runner slider. This one here has had the root pass done on it. So that's the first weld that'll be done. And then, like I said, we go back and we'll re-weld over the top of this and we'll show that final weld that we do. So, and actually here's some tubing. These are all assemblies down here. So this is right off the laser. So, I mean, I can rub my hand on here. It's super nice the way it is. So this piece here butts up to this piece here, and you can see the gap all the way around the tubing is the exact same. When we weld this together, we're going to get a really nice weld, and we're going to get a lot of support all the way around the tubing. So these are some of the extra steps and things we do to make our rock sliders that much more special, and that we feel that our sliders are at that next level of quality for what we do for our customers. So I wanted to share this with you because a lot of people don't know what goes into making a rock slider, and some of the things that we do extra to the rock sliders to make them special. So we've got 7 guys that are welding for us. We've handpicked each one of them. They're extremely skilled guys. They are up there on the level of production stuff as it gets for quality. So we are going to be doing some robotic welding here soon on some parts, but every pair of rock sliders right now, we are welding them all by hand. So we quality control them before they ever leave to go out for powder coat. We quality control them to make sure before they ever leave the shop, so when they get to the consumer, the customer, that they are at that highest level of quality for rock sliders. So we do appreciate watching our video, taking the time. We would love to hear from you. We'd love for you to reach out if you have any questions or anything. But yeah, we are very grateful for all the good customers and all the great welders that we have working for us. Thank you again for watching our video. Bye-bye.